So when we talk about online education, when we say ICT integration, when we say blended learning, these are all the things that anyway we have to go in future, in coming days, and more or less we have been practicing all these things. Either fully online courses, we must have started creating these courses in our own situations in educational institutions wherever we are working, or at least as UGC is advising us to go for a blended mode of teaching. So when we say blended mode, let's say it's like this: most of the instructional time, let us say about 70% at least, is happens through a face-to-face mode, and while the rest of the time, let's say 30% or less than 30%, even like let's say 25% of the instructional time is used with the help of online uh, instructional strategies. So either you are going for a blended mode or a fully online courses, we need to understand more about how we should be going about online teaching. This is number one. Number two, when we say online, there are mixed opinions about what is online and how to go about this. And many of our colleagues, especially in higher education space, they are not enjoying as a teacher being online. And the same is with the students as well. Right now you are all participants, rather you are colleagues, we are all colleagues. You can understand, you can be with me in saying that yes, neither students are greatly happy nor teachers are greatly happy when it comes to teaching online. This is one of the issue, one of the challenge, one of the very important, because worldwide if you see, the things are changing. Worldwide if you see how educational institutions, how students, especially higher education students, even school children, are more and more, they have started using the the, the systems, the online spaces, the mobile smartphones, so whatnot. So when things are moving around us, uh, and when things are changing, so if we don't adapt to such changes, it becomes very difficult for us. So keeping this in mind, a challenge of online, how to make it better, how to make it more attractive to the students and more enjoyable to the students, and more even if suppose if I'm taking a session for 90 minutes, if I myself become happy, if I myself derive satisfaction after 90 minutes, then I must be saying that okay, I enjoyed. So if these things are happening, then all things are okay. So keeping this very central idea in mind, what I have done is I have few ideas with me. That the title of my topic is Principles and Activities for Active Participation in Online Learning. When I say the principles and activities, you must be something must be. I'm going to share the my PPT and I'm going to have a detailed discussion. But in the meantime, I'm just trying to give you the background. The background is that when we go online, the way we teach offline, the way we are doing. See, most of you are already experienced teacher, and you have your own way of approaching the classrooms when it comes to face mode. And you are literally leaders inside your classrooms. When you reach to your classroom, when you reach to your students, when you are inside the classroom, you are leader almost, and you handle the class in your own way, based on your content, based on your experience that comes from you being as a teacher. Now, not exactly is the same case when it comes to face online mode, because there are certain limitations in online, because we may not have directly the eye contact which happens in the face to face. So we need to understand what else we should be doing, the way we have been doing in face to face mode. What do we do in the morning when we go to the classroom? In the morning, we greet, they greet, we exchange greetings, we say hello, hi, how are you, kind of things. And straight away, we don't get jump into the content. We talk here and there, maybe even 2 3 minutes gossip, correct? Personal touch, eye to eye contact. If somebody is not out, frequently some student is not coming, why he is coming, we inquire with his her friends. This is how we slowly introduce our topic, and in the process of in discussion also, we engage personally, we don't sit in one place, we move around the class, and if required, will even personal touch kind of thing we do. So all of that activities we do. Similarly, are there any principles, are there any activities? Just a moment please. So what I want to propose to you is, there are certain principles. We need to understand what are those principles. And based on these principles, there are certain activities by doing which what we can do is we can engage the students in a better way. So I'm talking about this. So let me share the screen now. See, this is basically I'm talking about there are certain principles. When we say online learning, when we say online teaching, there are certain principles of engaging students, making more and more participation of the students. And based on these principles, there are definitely certain activities. So we are talking about them. And before we go about this, what we can do is let us understand what exactly we mean when we say online learning. And there is no hard and fast definition what exactly we mean by online learning or what exactly is online teaching. There is no, but still we can try to understand what is this. When we say online, it tells us something, at least these three things. Like for example, it happens because of the internet. Agree? You need essentially central to any online teaching, we need internet, number one. Number two is, in addition to internet, the powerful internet, okay, we need stable internet. More than that, we need platforms. We call them educational platforms. Let us say, for example, this is a conference tool, conference call tool rather. The right now what we are having, it's a Google Meet, Zoom. Okay. These kind of the tools, we call them platforms, though they are not typically educational platforms. We have been using them. Beyond them, there are certain platforms like learning management systems. For example, during pandemic, most of us are exposed. If we have not used before pandemic, most of us we used Google Classroom. Google Classroom is one of the simple, basic educational platform, which is a learning management system. And there are a lot of platforms. A range of them is basic to advanced. Like for example, Moodle is one of the platforms. So we call them educational platforms. So that means what? First, you need internet. Second, you need educational platforms. Third, in addition to this, when the infrastructure is ready, when internet and platforms are ready, we need resources, and these are multimedia in nature. Like this could be videos, this could be audio files, this could be simple text files, this could be spreadsheets. Okay, we need lot of content in the form of multimedia. So these are to be shared with the students, and they are inflexible in nature. When it comes to online space, they are flexible in nature, and they are accessible learning experiences. These are accessible to anyone. So that's the idea. So these three things, combination of these things makes online. We utilize this. Correct? You agree with this? I'm not deriving any definition, but we are trying to understand online means this. It happens. Okay. And when we say this, simultaneously we talk about fully online courses. Correct? Some of you have must have created, or some of must have you participated in SWAYAM courses. SWAYAM courses are some of the examples of fully online courses. Coursera, Udemy kind of platforms. There you will find fully online courses. What do we mean by fully online courses? Is there is no eye-to-eye, face-to-face contact. Okay, and there could be certain other models, like for example, hybrid models. You call it blended mode. In hybrid model, what happens? In-person component is also there. In addition to online, in-person component. Like in distance education, what happens? Distance education employs certain contact hours also. So similarly, online courses can also have certain time of in-person, face-to-face component of instructional strategy or timing. So these type of models can also be there. Overall, when we talk about online, in addition to blended, we are mostly talking about MOOCs. We are talking about massive open online courses. Correct? So keeping this in mind, anyway, we have to go about them. So how to make them better is the idea. Keeping this in mind, I have tailored this particular class or session. So when we say online, please pay attention. These are self-explanatory points. We'll not spend much time on this. Please pay attention to these points. We all understand, in spite of its difficulties, in spite of its challenges, in spite of its weaknesses, still there is one can understand there is a growing significance of online learning. More and more students are opting still. They want to opt quick online courses. That means its significance is growing in terms of its demand. So we need to understand then why and how and what best and how best we can make it better when it comes to our own role in this. So therefore, let us understand why this is it's growing. Number one, because of its nature. Its nature is it's a flexible. Online is basically flexible in terms of its utility, and it is accessible to anybody, any place. Just you need to have infrastructure in terms of internet and others. Even it could be available on online space, sorry, on smartphones. So therefore it is flexible and it is accessible. Number two, online courses provide a lifelong opportunities of learning. And not just that you complete your masters, but if you need some specific skills, you can go and have online courses. You don't have to move just for this from your physically you don't have to move from your office. So skill development, lifelong learning opportunities can easily come. So therefore online space is in demand, and it is cost effective. Initial investment, initial effort of creating any course is little bit uh, takes time and inputs. Later, once you create, only then you start refining them. You just change them. You can only modify them, but not much. So once you create, in terms of reaching more, it's cost effective. And the kind of resources, the learning resources that we can provide in online is diverse, variety. The material that you are able to provide, the open education resources that you are able to provide is huge. It's variety compared to the way you are able to provide in offline. In offline, you have your own limitation of providing the resources. Maximum you can provide them the links, you can tell them, but here you can exactly provide the links. And in online space, it is easy for you as a teacher to have collaborations at global level also, at national level, at regional level, at global level. You can easily have collaborations. Physically, one don't have to travel. At least it saves the travel costs and other things. So you can easily bring in experts of your own subject. Suppose somebody is teaching in some university in abroad, and you have similar interest, you can come together teaching a course together. And the kind of technological advancements that have taken place, especially if we all have noticed it, not that we have not seen it, we have noticed, especially from 2015 onwards. If you see the life as a whole, because of the technology, be it power sector, be it health sector, be it transport sector, you name any sector, technology has made our life very comfortable, simple. And education is also a sector where it has already helped us in many ways. So the kind of technological advancements that are taking place, like for example, today, right now, we are able to do this, correct? So things have really advanced. And very importantly, online space provides a personalized learning environment. Individual students can have their own pace. Students can have their own way of approaching to the content. We call it personalized learning. So this is possible. What I mean in a simple way, if I have to tell you, personalized means, for example, some students enjoy doing projects. So you opt for projects, way of project method of teaching learning. Some students want to write assignments. That is perfect. No issues. Correct? So that way students can opt their own way of approaching their own content by their own learning styles. And teachers can adapt based on the learning styles to their instructional strategies, teaching styles. So that way online becomes very one-to-one kind of thing. And the last point that has been given here is the kind of resilience, the crisis management, the response that we have shown as a teachers, as a institutions, is we tried to our level best to deal with the learning loss that was happening during pandemic. And this was happened because of the two things. One is Our motivation, our interest, our enthusiasm to reach out to the students. It's the power of teachers. Two, it's the power of technology. Without the technology, we would have not been able to do that. So therefore, I give credit both to the teachers and to the technology. So as a result of combination of these factors, as a result of combination of these and many more factors, there is a growing significance of demand for online. We need to understand this because I thought it is going to change our educational scenario in coming days. That at the same time, when I say it's growing, there are challenges. It's not that easy. Correct? These are some few self-explanatory points I have put in. Quickly, I'll take them. The challenge is one of the important challenges. There is no face-to-face interaction. What happens is you and me, we as a teachers, we as a students, we have been taught, we have been trained to teach and to learn through face-to-face mode. We are very good if somebody tells us story, or we want to tell story face to face. Why I'm saying story is it's about direct instruction. We have been taught to learn and teach through direct instruction, which is not there in the film. And this becomes a very important challenge. And just imagine right now there are 40 plus participants in this conference call room, and there is no face-to-face interaction. I'm just assuming you are all with me. I'm trying to make a lot of efforts trying to reach you, assuming that you are all also with me. On the other hand, in a traditional class, what happens? I can see you from my eyes. I can have an eye contact, and I can able to see if you're with me or not on any content. But here it is very difficult. For various reasons, you are not able to on your videos, right? I cannot force you all the time also to on your video, on your audio. It will also have certain other weaknesses, but still we teachers in online space trying to reach out to the students participants. The one of the important factor is not having eye to eye contact. The technical issues in the sense, our universities and colleges, our students, the kind of space where they are staying, regional differences, regional imbalances. Okay, not all universities and colleges in India are uniformly placed when it comes to technical things. There are a lot of issues when it comes to technical things. So therefore, we need to understand this also. And very importantly, when it comes to online courses, students have to be more self-regulated. It's more of your choice, more of your interest, more of your own how you proceed. Otherwise, you lag behind. There is a lot of you can see the statistics. There is huge dropout in online courses. It's easy to take admissions. It is easy to begin with, but it is very difficult to complete. The completion rate is very low. The attrition rate is very high in online. The reason is lack of motivation. When students join the courses for various reasons, they lack motivation to complete that course. This is one of the challenge why students don't complete the online course. Why they get distracted. Why they get diverted. Why do they not enjoy? There could be a reason like, for example, they are not enjoying the content. They are not understanding the content. This could be also the reason. Why this? We need to understand this. And the kind of digital literacy, the skills that we as a teachers and students, of course students are much ahead when it comes to literacy skills, digital literacy skills especially. Students are yet, because of their age and their exposure more to the technological, and most of us, we are not that fast compared to them, but still there is a scope for teachers in the capacity building of the digital literacies for the teachers. This can be a factor that has to be dealt with the help of training, capacity building. The kind of these MMTTC programs, they're meant for this. They will reach out to the teachers for digital literacy skills. This is one of the challenges that is being taken care. and we need to have time management. It requires time management. It's not that easy. Many people think online means 24 by 7. It's myth only. You don't have to be 24 by 7 online. It's how you are managing time as a teacher, and of course as a student as well. And the first point that I was talking, face to face, as a result, there is no or less social interaction. And one of the very essential thing for a classroom is the social interaction in the classrooms. If social interactions are not taking place, if social interactions are not happening, all right, so there is no feeling of community in the classroom. As a result, there is no emotional bonding between teachers and students. And as a result of this, the success of overall classes are not greatly influenced. So these are some of the challenges that I have put in front of you. I'm not right now, I'm not talking to you, I'm not exchanging. I'm just going ahead because I'm just trying to put the background. I'll be discussing with you. I want your inputs much later. This is just I'm giving the background. Now, at the same time, when I say these are the challenges, I'm repeating the slide. When I say it is growing, I will say these can be taken as opportunities. Keeping in mind the growing significance of online space and keeping in mind our role as a teachers, in addition to our offline face-to-face physical mode teaching, we may have to go in future online. And let us take them as an opportunity. I'm not going to repeat them. Let us take them as the strength. At the same time, let us take them as a strength in terms of being collaboration, in terms of adaptive to the learning technologies, in terms of continuous learning opportunities, in terms of how we can deal with the difficult situations. Let us take the online space as an opportunity. Keeping this in mind, हम अभी तक एक background तक ही थे हम. My idea is basically I want to talk to you. I'm repeating the slides. I want to talk to you on principles and activities. हम इसके लिए हम सिर्फ अभी यहीं तक आए हैं कि हम एक इसको अपॉर्चुनिटी से ले लें, लेकिन आगे हम चल करके हम ये कहते हैं कि दिस इंपॉर्टेंट. यहां से हम सेकंड फेज ऑफ माय सेशन स्टार्ट हो रहा है. द सेकंड फेज इज, तो हम ये यूनिक चैलेंजेस हैं, अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, इसको लेते हुए फिर कैसे हम ठीक करें. तो आप देखिएगा कि सेंट्रल टू फेस टू फेस क्लास, what is happening in face to face class? It is participation of the students, active participation of the students. वो हो रहा है, it is happening in face to face. And how to make it happen in online is the question. If this happens, then to a great extent, our course, keeping in mind other conditions, keeping in other technological, your content, your delivery style, other factors constant, if participation is taken care, your course is successful to a great extent. This is what I want to tell. अब क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है पार्टिसिपेशन, एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये थोड़ा इसको समझने से बहुत इजी हो जाएगा हमारे. थोड़ा इन चीजों को थोड़ा आई वुड लाइक टू नॉट एलाबोरेट बट स्टिल आई वुड लाइक टू पिन पॉइंट टू दिस पॉइंट्स. ओके फ्रेंड्स? Yes. Number 1 point, participation, students participation, especially students participation with the content, with the teacher. What happens is it enhances engagement. The moment you start asking questions, the moment you start dealing with the content, what happens is your engagement starts, your engagement with the content, your engagement with your teacher, your engagement with your other fellow students, your peer group, it starts. So engagement is the essential thing. Your students engaging with you, you are successful then. You have achieved your to some extent. So it enhances participation, enhances engagement. And the impact of engagement is it enhances motivation. The moment they are engaged, you can motivate them further. You're getting my point? So, active participation makes sure the engagement and motivation. This is number one. Number two, when students are engaging, when students are participating, it is quite possible that they are understanding the content. I'm not guaranteeing saying they're understanding now. At least their participation, their questioning, their discussion, their debating has at least, I can say, suppose they are not at all asking question. Maybe they are understanding, but still you doubt they may not be understanding following. That is why in each of the class, in every time of the class, what we do is, do you understand? Are you following me? Why do we ask these questions? Ultimately, we want them to understand. And unless they participate, how can they understand? So therefore, maybe they are understanding still. For guaranteed understanding, for improved understanding, their participation is essential. And when you understand, you retain. Retention of the content is very important. Retention of the content, you expect your students to deliver when it comes them to deliver. It could be, for example, surprise tests, quiz, assignments, writing assignments, or semester end examinations, or internal tests. You want them to do well, and you want for them to do well in those tests, they should be retaining the content that you have delivered, and it is indirectly depends upon your understanding, which is a subject or which is a function of the participation. Okay, friends? Then the third point is participation is important. Please understand this way, teaching is not just sharing of the information. I'm making a statement. Please pay attention. Teaching is not just sharing of the information. For example, there are certain principles of online learning teaching, and there are 10 principles. I can list those 10 principles and I'll say these are the 10 principles. You please go ahead. You read them. They are self-explanatory points. I will say like this. I share my information and I'll go ahead. That's not the job of a teacher. It's about how you engage and how, if by end of this 90 minutes class, if you are able to think in your own style, in your own way, in your own method, how can I become better in online? And these are initial principles I have understood. This professor has given us few initial points. If you start thinking, that is the success of my class. So in each of your content subject, whatever subject you are teaching, your content requires your expectation of you as a teacher is that they should become thinkers in your subject. Thinking is a skill, and critical thinking, if you are able to enhance the critical thinking ability of the students, your 80% of your work is done. So therefore, development of critical thinking skills happens without the participation. So in order to have this most important thing in the teaching, the critical thinking skill, if it has to happen, participation is essential. Okay, friends? Then, as I was telling sometimes back, there is no or less of social interaction, face to face. As a result, the sense of community is less, and participation increases the feeling of community. Whatever community, for example, if this is a 1 week course or 10 days course, you must be added into a group. You all must have been added into a group. It could be a Google group, or it could be a WhatsApp group or Telegram group, right? Whatever, and that's a community, and this is a short duration. But your students are going to stay with you for a longer duration, a semester, or next to the semester. So a sense of feeling to the community is very important. Your content requires many a time to connect with the real world. And for this, you need to have a preparation for real world, a collaboration with the real world, what is happening. Suppose you are teaching certain skills and they are matching with the real world examples. You need to have a participation. Unless you participate, you will not able to understand that. And you as a teacher, for example, in online especially, continuous feedback. See, I can ignore when Miss Alka, when she said there is some audio, I can ignore also. Deliberately, I asked why I asked these. These are the cues. These are the feedbacks. They are coming from the room. They are coming from the classroom. You never know. There are certain, genuinely, some people want to say something. And these are the feedbacks. They are coming deliberately, directly, or indirectly. And we as a teachers should be have an open eye to these kind of feedbacks and the timely feedbacks and reflecting on those feedbacks. You get feedbacks continuously, and you as a teacher thinking on the feedback. And these feedbacks will help you to improve your class next time. If not this time, this class will go on somehow. But in next class, when say suppose somebody says, I'm having this issue with this content, this particular topic, then I will say, for example, you are talking about principles. You may ask me a question. Are these principles authenticated? Are these principles tested? Are these principles are researchly established? You may ask. Then I will start thinking, okay, I did not know about that. So next time I will try to bring in the research evidences to such things. You and me as teachers have to be reflective thinkers, practitioners who change their class, who change their learning style, teaching style rather, strategies based on the reflections that are coming, feedbacks that are coming. And in order to have all of this, central is participation, students participation. And another next point is there are different learning styles. Please understand this. If you are not coming, majority of your, if you are not from education background, if you are from general backgrounds, I tell you, students have their own learning styles. And based on the learning styles, teaching strategies are also there. Learning styles, what I mean by learning styles is in simple way. You can Google it. It's a very simple one. You can Google it and later you try to understand. But what I mean by learning styles is some students want or will learn just by seeing demonstration. Some students they want to do by themselves. Demonstration will not satisfy them. They want themselves to do. They want to do the experiment. Some students they don't want to believe what you are saying. They want to research by themselves. Some students just by lecturing they understand. So there are different students. They follow their own strategies of study. So we as a teachers will come to know when students are participating, will understand this particular student is suitable for to place him or her in project group. This student is okay if I give him simple assignments. The students need more demonstrations. So based on we can adapt. We can adapt to their learning styles unless they participate. Unless they, Ajay, thank you so much for your feedback in the chat box. Unless we participate with them, I will not know their learning style. So the job of a teacher is to see, learn from their participation and try to understand what are the different learning styles and adapt yourself and change your teaching strategy, adapt your teaching strategy, modify your teaching strategies. And finally, skill development. Basically, for skill development, participation is essential because we need to go beyond content. We need to go beyond. These are some of the important, very important points that I thought I'll put in front of you to understand. And based on this active participation, please pay attention. The next slide is slightly important. In the sense, I'm introducing you the concept called engagement. Now I'm bringing to you the concept called engagement. I call it learner engagement rather. It's simple engagement basically, learner engagement. Do you all agree with me? Unless we engage students, whether it's offline or online, will we be able to achieve our instructional objectives? The straightforward answer is no. So in order to make more and more successful your class, you are a very successful teacher. How do you know that you are a great teacher? One of the indicator is how to what level you have engaged your students. And the determinants of engagements are visible, observable, or like for example, students are frequently asking you questions. Is one of the way that yes, I was able to engage them because they were asking questions. Or when you are asking questions, they are able to discuss on those aspects. This is how it happens, right? Now, learner engagement, I'm taking this definition, the resource has been given below. So there could be many ways of understanding what is learner engagement, but at least let us understand from 3 points. which is very important for this classroom purpose. This is connected with learn principles and activities of online. So therefore, I have taken this definition. What is this? First one is, say, for example, let me give the example of my own class, my own session, my own topic, my own title. The title is Principles and Activities. Principles, I'm repeating, principles and activities for active participation in online. The moment I say this, the moment I put this slide, you must have started thinking about this. That is very important. The thinking level, what I mean is, what is this? Are there any really principles? We were not knowing this. I am already teaching online very well. I'm a good teacher. Are there any learning principles? If there are learning principles, then let us know about them. So you started thinking. So every content that you are teaching, you as a teacher, whatever subject you are teaching, the moment you say some content, some topic, some concept, students start thinking about it. If they're not thinking about that, you will not be able to make them understand further. The first most important thing is thinking, cognitive. Students, cognitive involvement, number one. Number two is emotional energy. What do you mean by emotional energy? I'm taking the same example. Emotional energy in the sense, now that I'm talking to you about principles and activities, and suppose most of you are sitting who are sitting here, you don't want to go for online. You don't want to go for online in future. Pakka. Then you will not be able to connect. And you will simply, for the sake of listening, you may listen. On the other hand, just imagine, yes, I'm in future I'm going to be a teacher who is going to be online. I want to be a successful online teacher as well. Then you start connecting. That connection is your emotional energy. Unless you connect your students to your content in whatsoever way, you are teaching, suppose, physics, and there is a concept in physics. If students are not connected to that physics in whatsoever way, you can tell them this topic is very important because this has connection with your third semester. There is going to be a very important paper. Entire course is based on this particular. Then they get connected, right? So this is how we make them involved. We are not bluffing them. We are telling them practically this is the reality and this is needed for you. It's emotional energy. Correct? Number two. Number three is every topic, every class has got its own learning objectives. Instruction, we call them instructional objectives. What do you mean by instructional objectives is, see, by the end of this particular session, 90 minutes, I am able to expose you certain techno-pedagogical aspects of being online teacher. This is the purpose of this class. If I'm able to achieve this by the end of the class, you can say the class is successful. So there has to be accomplishment of a learning task. I may be, we are teaching. I may be a good teacher, but you are able to make them think. You may be able to make them emotionally connected. But end of the session, there is nothing. Means it's a futile exercise. It's not wasted. It's wasted effort on ours. So there has to be some learning task that has completed. So if these three things are happening, or in order to have these three things, we call them learner engagement. If learner engagement is taking place, your class is successful. Okay, friends. Now this is the second part. The first part was the background. The second part is the concept of learner engagement. The third part of my session is about principles. Can we go ahead, friends? Please tell me now. If you have any discussion points, I will take up for now. You can on your videos or audios, whatever is comfortable to you, or even in chat box, I will respond to you. I have three sessions, three parts in my session. First part was background, what actually and why we should be. Second part is the central and essential is learner engagement. The third is, in order to do this learner engagement successfully, we have certain principles and activities. Now it's a routine, it's a mechanical. That's third one. So friends, I don't see any chat box messages or any audio messages. So should I go ahead then?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Now, the principles and activities that I'm talking about, thank you so much. Principles and activities that I'm talking about, I have heavily taken from this particular book. Just a moment. I'm putting in the chat box. Its source. You can download this book. This is around 380-page book. It's freely available. The authors of this book are very prominent, very pioneers in the field of online education. One of them particularly, Professor Curtis Baum. He's a very superior teacher when it comes to online teaching. Based on their 30 years of experience, they have put in this book 10 principles. And each principle has got what to say, 10 activities. All right, 10 activities. And based on these principles and activities, we can make our class successful. You can Google it right now and download it straight, and it is freely downloadable. Right? So based on this particular book, I am using these 10 principles. Now, coming to Sahyarias, uh, it's a request, sir, please tell something about EduPuzzle while teaching. Okay. Right now, my purpose of this class is not about any particular apps or any particular tools. So EduPuzzle, we can go ahead, but that's right now it's not a purpose. We can use them. We can use them in one of these activities. Let us see how and where we can connect. All right, friend. Thank you. Now, can we go ahead with the principles based on this? The principle number one. Now onwards, I think you all have to participate with me. This is your class now. I have only set the background. In the first phase of my class, what I said is, what is the importance of online? I said it. Second, I said essential to have successful, there could be many factors. One of the essential factor is learner engagement. And in order to do learner engagement, the third phase of my session is, there are 10 principles. We are talking about them. The first principle is this. It's on your screen. Please pay attention to this. And how do you consider this? It is talking about the climate of the classroom, the tone in the classroom, the psychological atmosphere of the classroom, safety of the students, how comfortable they are. It is talking about. Tell me, based on your experience, how a beginning class happens in the first semester, for example.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Myself, Gyani Nasin. The very first class students are highly energized. They are in uh, means actively active, and they seek knowledge. Plus, something like that. So,
Thank you so much. When he says they are highly motivated in the beginning, and what happens is, uh, still they do not know the students when they, for the first time, when they seek admission. First time they are into the new atmosphere. What is happening is, they are not comfortable. They do not know each other. They do not know the rules and regulations of the university and college that much. They are slightly hesitant. They don't open up. For that, what do we do? Though they are very much energetic, they want highly energized. What we do is we talk to them. We talk to them in terms of like uh, where you are from. Can you introduce yourself? So we spend some time. Don't we do this in the beginning? We spend some time on knowing each other, understanding each other. Why it is important? Are there any instances or experiences that आपने किसी से बात भी नहीं किया, डायरेक्ट क्लास स्टार्ट किया आपने, ऐसा हुआ है क्या कभी? किसी ने यहाँ, बजरंग भूषण जी, थैंक यू सो मच, ये रिसर्च गेट्स में अवेलेबल है, वहां से इन्होंने शेयर किया है, आप लोग डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं इसको, एंड इसका ओरिजिनल सोर्स भी आप लोग डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं जहां से इनका वो है, एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट सर्च इन द बैकग्राउंड एंड पुटिंग दिस, एंड ये किताब बहुत यूजफुल है. एनीबडी हु वांट्स टू बिकम एन एक्सलेंट टीचर, anybody who wants to become excellent teacher in online, it's a must read. इसको कंपल्सरीली इसको आपको पढ़ना ही है, एसेंशियल रीडिंग में आता है, एंड इट्स फ्रीली अवेलेबल. प्लीज माय फ्रेंड्स, यू डाउनलोड इट. आई एम शेयरिंग certain other resources also. I am sharing this PPT through coordinators, okay na? And I'm also giving you these things, and I will give you certain MCQs. Maybe end of the courses you will be asked by the okay na? And mostly these MCQs are based on these principles and the background that I was talking about. And the first principle talks about psychological safety. And ये psychological safety के बाद ये जो authors हैं, कर्टिस बॉन्ग या उनके कलीग एलिन कू, ऐसे ही बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, बेस्ड ऑन देयर एक्सपीरियंस. एंड रिसर्च सपोर्ट्स, रिसर्च भी ये कहता है कि देयर इज अ पॉजिटिव लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट फॉर एनहांस्ड एंड सेटिस्फैक्शन के लिए, ये पॉजिटिव लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट होने के लिए ये साइकोलॉजिकल सेफ्टी होना बहुत जरूरी है. साइकोलॉजिकल सेफ्टी अगर है, स्टूडेंट्स ओपन अप, ये रिसर्च ने एस्टैब्लिश किया है. एंड इट सेज एस्टैब्लिशिंग ए वेलकमिंग टोन, वेरी वेलकमिंग टोन अगर टीचर का शुरुआती दिनों में अगर है, अगर कुछ एंजाइटी स्टूडेंट्स को है, तो वो एंजाइटी को रिड्यूस करता है, एंड इट इंक्रीजेस पार्टिसिपेशन. सो पार्टिसिपेशन इंक्रीज करने के लिए करना क्या है हमें? फर्स्ट स्टेप इन ऑनलाइन, फेस टू फेस तो हम करते हैं, ऑनलाइन में भी ये कर सकते हैं. आस्क देम टू इंट्रोड्यूस देमसेल्फ, वीडियो क्रिएट कर सकते हैं अपना इंट्रोडक्शन का, 1 मिनट का, 2 मिनट का. उसमें आप बता सकते हैं स्टूडेंट्स कि मेरा नाम ये है, मैं फलाना कॉलेज में मैंने ग्रेजुएशन में स्टडी किया था, आई बिलोंग टू दिस स्टेट, माय मदर टंग इज दिस, माय हॉबीज are this, why I have taken admission here in this college is because of this reasons, and I want to achieve these things, मेरा फ्यूचर इंटरेस्ट ये है. देखिए इसमें एक दूसरे को हम समझने में, जानने में, कुछ समय बिताने में कितना अच्छा लगता है. So the first principle is, number 1 is, it's about creating an atmosphere, an environment, sense of belonging. अगर आप अग्री करते हैं तो प्लीज पुट मी इन द चैट बॉक्स, यस, देन आई विल गो अहेड. And just taking a pause, please let me know, or if you have anything else to add, you add, otherwise I will go ahead. ज्ञानेंद्र सिंह जी, थैंक यू सो मच. अदर्स, देखिए आपका पार्टिसिपेशन नहीं होगा तो ये क्लास मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है. आप डिसएग्री भी करते हैं तो उसमें लिखिए, हम डिस्कस करते हैं. आप अगर डिसएग्री भी करते हैं इस बात पे और एक्स्ट्रा डिस्कशन भी चाहते हैं, तब भी हम लोग डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. तनुजा रावत, थैंक यू सो मच. मैं एवरीवन, ईच वन हु इज सिटिंग हियर, आई वांट योर इनपुट्स. अब अपना अटेंडेंस फॉर्म भरना ही इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है मेरे लिए. आप लोग अग्री करते हैं, अटेंडेंस तो ये फॉर्मेलिटी है, करना ही है ना. तो आप लोगों के पार्टिसिपेशन, आप लोगों की रेस्पॉन्सेस बहुत एसेंशियल होती है. थैंक यू सो मच. अभी के लिए थैंक यू सो मच. अभी नेक्स्ट स्लाइड देखिए, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये सारे 10 स्लाइड्स ये टेक्नो-पेडागोजिकल है बेसिकली, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दिस. हम कोई रॉकेट साइंस के बारे में बात नहीं कर रहे हैं ये, लेकिन ये इनको इग्नोर करने से क्लास हमारा सक्सेसफुल नहीं. हम मेनी टाइम्स सच प्रिंसिपल्स को इग्नोर करते हैं या फिर ग्रांटेड लेते हैं। सेकंड प्रिंसिपल इज एनकरेजमेंट। अभी जस्ट तो मैंने एक आई ट्राई टू डेमोन्स्ट्रेट द एनकरेजमेंट। एनकरेजमेंट ये है कि मैंने जब ज्ञानेंद्र सिंह जी ने अपने से वॉलंटियरली उन्होंने जवाब मतलब पार्टिसिपेट किया डिस्कशन में, आई थैंक एंड आई ट्राई टू मोटिवेट अदर्स ऑल्सो। मैं ये डिलिबरेटली कर रहा हूं, बिकॉज अनलेस वी एनकरेज दे डोंट पार्टिसिपेट। यस, सो अग्री करते हैं आप, एनकरेजमेंट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। एंड एनकरेजमेंट का अपॉर्चुनिटीज है जब स्टूडेंट्स आस्क क्वेश्चंस, व्हेन दे आर गिविंग फीडबैक, एंड इट्स अबाउट बीइंग रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस टू देम। कई बार हमारे स्टूडेंट्स कुछ सिली क्वेश्चन भी पूछते हैं, but still we cannot label it as a silly question. It's a question which is very important for the student, and how responsive we are to their responses. And many times students, youngsters, उनको praise चाहिए होता है, शाबाश, very good, excellent, ये बहुत जरूरी होता है, it's a basic human nature है, and they feel comfortable when they feel I am getting supported. Many times students क्वेश्चंस में ही हमें पता चलता है वो कितने तो दैट देयर आर अपॉर्चुनिटीज टू एनकरेज देम। उनको एनकरेज करने के लिए कोई अलग से हमें नहीं करना है, एंड मैजिक कम्स फ्रॉम द क्लासरूम। पावर वहीं पर है, एनी मोमेंट, एनी टाइम, एनी डिस्कशन पॉइंट पे ही, एंड पॉजिटिव एटमॉस्फेयर है बेसिकली। एंड रिसर्च ये कहता है फीडबैक एंड रीइंफोर्समेंट। स्टूडेंट का फीडबैक एंड स्टूडेंट को जो रीइंफोर्समेंट मिलता है आर वेरी मच क्रिटिकल, वेरी मच सेंट्रल टू देयर मोटिवेशन। अगर हमें उनको रीइंफोर्समेंट मिल रहा है तो उनकी मोटिवेशन हाई होगी, वेरी सिंपल। एंड इतना ही नहीं, टाइमली मिलना चाहिए एंड कंस्ट्रक्टिव होना चाहिए। एक तो टाइमली मिलना चाहिए, एक कंस्ट्रक्टिव होना चाहिए। एंड टाइमली फीडबैक, टाइमली प्रेज, टाइमली रेस्पॉन्सिवनेस, टाइमली सपोर्ट इंप्रूव्स परफॉर्मेंस। उनका परफॉर्मेंस ऑटोमेटिकली, उनको ताकत मिलती है, एनर्जी मिलती है, तो वो और पार्टिसिपेट करते जाएंगे। when they perform more, they understand more, they retain more. So encouragement सिर्फ दिखाने के लिए या एक एसेंशियल पार्ट के लिए नहीं, encouragement has direct impact on the students performance, which is very difficult in online. कैसे करें, कैसे encourage करें each one of you right now? अभी 45+ पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, आई एम फेलिंग, मैं कैसे इंकरेज करूं आप सबको? मेरा जॉब सिर्फ बोलना 1 आवर 90 मिनट्स पावर पॉइंट से रीड करना नहीं है मेरा जॉब। ऑफलाइन में वेरी इजी है, ऑनलाइन में वेरी डिफिकल्ट है, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दिस। मैं कैसे इंकरेज करूं? हो सकता है मैं आप सबका ओपिनियन ले लूं अभी राइट नाउ। फॉर एग्जांपल एनकरेजमेंट, डू यू अग्री विद दिस और नॉट? एक ओपिनियन पोल चला सकता हूं मैं अभी राइट नाउ। कई टूल्स हैं, ओपिनियन पोल ले सकता हूं, मोबाइल मेंटरिंग लगा सकता हूं, एक्सपर्ट फीडबैक ले सकता हूं। मैं बोल सकता हूं आपको, देखिए इस पर थोड़ा रिसर्च करिए, क्या ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, कि एसेंशियल है, कि 10 मिनट का मैं टाइम दे सकता हूं आपको। आई विल आस्क यू टू टेक 10 मिनट्स टाइम एंड सी वेदर यू से नो। इंकरेजमेंट वगैरह टाइम पास वो सब नहीं करना है, हमें टीचिंग करना है, ये बोलिए आप, उस पर डिस्कस भी करें हम, नथिंग रॉन्ग विद इट। लेकिन आपका एक्सपर्ट फीडबैक तो ले लें हम एज ए टीचर। तो ये सब एक्टिविटीज हैं जिसके थ्रू हम एनकरेजमेंट लिया जा सकता है। ओके, दिस इज प्रिंसिपल नंबर 2। आई एम गोइंग अहेड विद द प्रिंसिपल नंबर 3 बिकॉज टाइमिंग भी कम है। इसको आगे लेके देख चलते हैं कैसे हम डिस्कस करें। क्यूरियोसिटी, आप सब अग्री करते हैं इस बात, क्यूरियोसिटी बहुत बहुत एसेंशियल है। अगर देखिए, किसी ने वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग लिखा है, टीचिंग इज बोथ आर्ट एंड साइंस। साइंस इसलिए कहा गया है, उसके कुछ स्टेप्स होते हैं, उसको इसी तरह पढ़ाना है, उसके कुछ पर्पस होते हैं, उसके कुछ मेथड होते हैं। आर्ट इसलिए कहा गया है, उसमें फ्रीडम दिया है, टीचर परफॉर्म करता है क्लासरूम में, एग्जैक्टली जैसे प्रिपेयर करता है वैसा ओमिट नहीं करता है, वो अपने तरीके से परफॉर्म करता है, ड्रामा करता है, जोक सुनाता है, सीरियस होता है, इलस्ट्रेशंस देता है, कभी सीरियसली कुछ चीजें बतानी होती है, कभी लाइटर मोड़ पे कुछ स्टोरीज बतानी पड़ती है, कुछ सरप्राइजेस देनी पड़ती है, कभी अननोन से अननोन मूव करना पड़ता है। ये सब वेरी एंड एंड कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट लर्निंग थ्योरीज, बहुत सारे कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट लर्निंग थ्योरीज ये इस बात को अग्री करते हैं। क्यूरियोसिटी ड्रिवन एक्टिविटीज, अगर हम मोनोटोनसली बोरिंग तरीके से भी बता सकते हैं, बहुत ही एंथुसियास्टिकली क्यूरियोसिटी को लेकर के इसके बाद क्या होने वाला है ऐसे भी बता सकते हैं। लेकिन थ्योरीज, लर्निंग थ्योरीज, स्पेशली कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट लर्निंग थ्योरीज इस बात को सपोर्ट करते हैं। दे सपोर्ट दैट क्यूरियोसिटी ड्रिवन एक्टिविटीज अलाइन विथ द रिसर्च, इससे फायदा होगा स्टूडेंट्स को। तो एंगेजिंग लर्नर्स थ्रू एक्सप्लोरेशन, एक्सप्लोर करना है, सिर्फ इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग नहीं है, स्टूडेंट्स के साथ एक्सप्लोर करना है, उनके साथ बैठना है, उनके साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना है। तो ये सब बातें जो है तो लर्निंग आउटकम्स पे ज्यादा असर करता है। इसके लिए एक टीचिंग स्ट्रेटजी, लर्निंग टीचिंग स्ट्रेटजी सजेस्ट किया गया है, कॉल्ड जस्ट इन टाइम टीचिंग। किसी ने जस्ट इन टाइम टीचिंग सुना है, प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, या कभी पता है इसके बारे में जस्ट इन टाइम टीचिंग? आई एम टाइपिंग द चैट बॉक्स, जस्ट इन टाइम। आप गूगल करके देखिए इसको, ये वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, वेरी सिंपल सा है लेकिन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड बहुत पावरफुल है। ये इसके थ्रू आप बहुत अच्छे आउटकम्स दिखा सकते हैं क्लास में। लेट मी एक्सप्लेन यू वेरी क्विकली, वेरी शॉर्ट में मैं बताऊंगा जस्ट इन टाइम टीचिंग क्या होता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल ज्ञानेंद्र सिंह जी, आप क्या सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाते हैं?
एजुकेशन सर।
एजुकेशन, अच्छा एजुकेशन में किस लेवल पे पढ़ाते हैं?
यूजी बीए स्टूडेंट्स।
बीए स्टूडेंट में कौन से कोर्स पढ़ाते हैं?
ऑल द पेपर्स,
लेट्स से
for
फॉर
example,
एग्जाम्पल
sociology of education, psychology of education, historical
साइकोलॉजी ऑफ
perspective of
एजुकेशन
education.
का एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल साइकोलॉजी ऑफ एजुकेशन का लेते हैं, आप उसमें देखिए यूनिट 1 2 3 4 है ना। अब यूनिट 1 में थोड़ा इजी टॉपिक्स हैं, आप इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं। यूनिट 2 में थोड़े एडवांस जाते हैं आप आगे चल के। यूनिट 3 में कुछ सीरियस कॉन्सेप्ट्स के बारे में बात होता है ना, ऐसा ही होता है ना किसी भी कोर्स में।
True, sir. We
अब
start from growth and development, then progressively we go towards harder, like learning. What is learning? What is motivation? Personality. So from growth and development to personality, मतलब हम tougher concept की तरफ जाते हैं.
लेट अस से फॉर एग्जांपल टफ इन द सेंस, इस सीक्वेंस को सीरीज में देखा जाए तो पर्सनालिटी को आपको पढ़ाना है। ओके, आपको पर्सनालिटी पढ़ाना है एंड आपके स्टूडेंट्स ऑलरेडी बेसिक्स सब जानते हैं, ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट वगैरह उन्होंने स्टडी किया है। अब यू हैव रीच्ड पर्सनालिटी। अब पर्सनालिटी को कैसे अप्रोच करते हैं टीचिंग में? यू हैव योर ओन मेथड, बट मैं ये जस्ट इन टाइम टीचिंग में कैसे करते हैं मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ। समझ लीजिए आप 10 दिन के बाद ये पर्सनालिटी स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं। आफ्टर 10 डेज जस्ट इन टाइम टीचिंग को यूज करना है और 10 दिन के बाद इसको पर्सनालिटी को इंट्रोड्यूस करना है। तो आप इसको 4 स्टेप्स, जस्ट इन टाइम में 4 स्टेप्स। फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या है? फर्स्ट स्टेप यू आर गोइंग टू मेक अनाउंसमेंट। अनाउंसमेंट क्या है? दैट आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अप personality after 10 days or 15 days, and what you have to do is, these are the list of material that I have with me, and there could be many more material with you. There are a lot of open education resources, videos, books. You read them, and this is the syllabus. And in personality, these are the subtopics, these are the theories, these are the possible things that, and you know the syllabus, so we are going to cover these many things. You read them, you tell them 10 days time, not 10 days time, few time, sometime. So first step is done. Second step is, after some time of reading, you distribute them a Google form. The Google form is with a few basic questions, let us say 6 7 questions, not more than 10 questions. Okay, why I am saying 10 questions is, these are the most important questions. You are asking them, आपको most easy कहाँ लगा, most difficult कहाँ लगा, which subtopic you think you need discussion more, which subtopic you think you don't need any discussion at all. ऐसे कुछ बेसिक सवाल आप पूछिए। second step. And third step is take the feedback. बैठिए आप गूगल फॉर्म लेकर के, इसको फ्लिप्ड से थोड़ा हटके होगा, हम बताएंगे। वेरी थैंक यू सो मच बजरंग भूषण जी। थोड़ा फ्लिप से थोड़ा हटके हो रहा है। तो अब थर्ड स्टेप में क्या हो रहा है, आप उनका फीडबैक लीजिए एंड मैप द फ्रीक्वेंसी। हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट सेड इंट्रोडक्शन पे टाइम स्पेंड करना जरूरी नहीं है? हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट सेड दिस पर्टिकुलर डेफिनेशन इज वी आर नॉट फॉलोइंग, वी नीड मोर डिस्कशन? आपको पता चल जाएगा कहाँ पे ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड करना है, कहाँ पे कम समय स्पेंड करना है। एंड द फोर्थ स्टेज, द फोर्थ स्टेप इज द एक्चुअल लाइव क्लास। इन एक्चुअल लाइव क्लास students come with certain background and you go with a tailored class. You don't spend what is the meaning of personality. You will direct, say for example, just for example, मुझे प्रिंसिपल्स एंड एक्टिविटीज पे क्लास लेनी थी, है ना? अगर मान लीजिए ये इसी को मैं एक 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 हाइपोथेटिकली जस्ट गेस करिए, आप सबसे मुझे पहले से थोड़ा परिचय होता, मैं एक दिन 20 मिनट्स के लिए मैं आपसे बातचीत करता ऑनलाइन में एंड मैं बताता आपको, देखो मैं एक किताब से मैं स्टडी में ला रहा हूँ कंटेंट एंड इसमें 10 प्रिंसिपल्स हैं एंड 100 एक्टिविटीज हैं। तो आपको टाइम मिलता तो आप करते क्या, हम एटलीस्ट हाफ एन आवर वी हैव स्पेंट ऑन भूमिका, इंट्रोडक्शन, बैकग्राउंड बताने में मुझे हाफ एन आवर चलेगी, उस पर हम समय ना बिताते, स्ट्रेट हम प्रिंसिपल्स एंड एक्टिविटीज पे आते एंड उसका मजा और कुछ होता। तो इससे क्या होगा, स्टूडेंट्स उनको क्यूरियोसिटी रहेगी, उनकी उनकी मोटिवेशन रहेगी, वो नोन तो उनको समझ में आ गया, ये सब हमें पता है, अब अननोन हम टीचर के ऊपर डिपेंड हो रहे हैं। तो ये एक स्ट्रेटजी हुआ। ओके, सो ऐसे कंटेक्चुअल ब्लॉक्स हैं, रिसोर्सेज को देखना है, इस तरीके से अगर उनका क्यूरियोसिटी आप बना करके ये कर सकते हैं, ठीक है ना? ओके फ्रेंड्स, सो आई विल मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन। द नेक्स्ट वन इज वैरायटी। एंड सबको नॉवेल्टी, फन, फैंटेसी, वैरायटी किसको अच्छा नहीं लगता है? थोड़ा वैरायटी के साथ अगर हम टीचिंग कर रहे हैं, इसको एक वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थियरी है कॉल्ड कॉग्निटिव लोड थियरी। कॉग्निटिव लोड थियरी कहता है वेरिड डिफरेंट इंस्ट्रक्शनल मेथड्स अगर हम करते हैं, बार बार हम रिपीट अलग अलग एक ही नहीं करके लेक्चर मेथड ही कर रहे हैं तो बोर होता है, ये कहते हैं। अगर वन सिंपल स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड मोनोटोनस लीनियर मेथड से हम जा रहे हैं तो वो कॉग्निटिव लोड करता है, स्टूडेंट्स प्रेशर फील करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स। कॉग्निटिव लोड थियरी ये कहता है थोड़ा वैरायटी, डाइवर्स फॉर्मेट्स में लाइए, थोड़ा डिफरेंट बनाइए, देखते हैं कैसे इसको हम ठीक से करते हैं। अगर ये करने से थोड़ा उनको मजा आता है वैरायटी लाने से। एग्जाम्पल के लिए एक एक्टिविटी यहां सजेस्ट किया गया है, टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट प्रेजेंटेशन। टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट प्रेजेंटेशन क्या होता है? टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट प्रेजेंटेशन ये होता है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अभी राइट नाउ हमको 90 मिनट्स की जगह टुमारो आल्सो समझ लीजिए, और मैं ये कहूंगा someone of you or 2-3 of you have to make presentation on principles and activities। तो आप सब लोग तैयार हैं एंड आपको टाइम है 30 मिनट्स, बड़े अच्छे बोलेंगे आप, फुल तैयारी करके आएंगे, लेकिन मैं ये कह दूं आपको केवल 5 मिनट है, तो कैसे बताएंगे आप? इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट। 30 मिनट्स 40 मिनट प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए मैं अगर आपको टाइम दे दूं तो आप बहुत अच्छे कर सकते हैं, लेकिन 5 मिनट में करो, वेरी डिफिकल्ट। ये एक वैरायटी हो गया। अब 5 मिनट में हम कैसे बताएंगे ये सब, बिकॉज यू वांट टू डू प्रूव योर बेस्ट। सो ऐसे कुछ स्ट्रेटेजीज दिखाओ, ब्रिंग इन करो, एक नावल हो जाए, एक फन भी आ जाए उसमें, एंड इट्स ऑल फॉर पर्पस ऑफ लर्निंग है। कोई वो नहीं कि किसी को नीचे दिखाने के लिए हम थोड़ी कर रहे हैं, एक पर्पस, वो एक रैपो ऑलरेडी क्रिएट हो गया आपकी क्लास में। अब आप उस स्टेज पे नहीं है कि आप फन क्रिएट करने से किसी को बुरा लगेगा, हम वो स्टेज पे नहीं है। हम वो स्टेज पे हैं कि ये सब करने से मजा आएगा, स्टूडेंट्स दे नो ईच अदर, वी नो ईच अदर्स स्ट्रेंथ्स एंड वीकनेसेस, अभी हम एक दूसरे पे हंस भी सकते हैं, मजाक अपना, हम चलो कोई बात नहीं, उस लेवल की फ्रेंडशिप है हमारी, तो हम यहाँ पर थोड़ा फन, फैंटेसी, कुछ नॉवेल्टी, नयापन हम ब्रिंग कर सकते हैं। Okay, friends, this is principle number 4. I'm quickly moving on to the next principle, that is principle number 5. Principle number 5 talks about autonomy. हायर एजुकेशन में ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। स्टूडेंट स्कूल एजुकेशन में +2 तक सफोकेट फील किए, जो बताया वो किए, अब थोड़ा फ्रीडम, ऑटोनॉमी एंजॉय करना चाहते हैं, उनको अपॉर्चुनिटीज चाहिए, उनको थोड़ा फ्लेक्सिबिलिटीज चाहिए, एंड वो चाहते हैं कि कंट्रोल हमारे हाथ में, एंड दे वांट टू एक्सरसाइज दैट चॉइस, एंड ये होता है तो दे इन्वॉल्व मोर, देयर पार्टिसिपेशन मोर होता है। एंड एक थ्योरी है कॉल्ड सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन थ्योरी। सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन थ्योरी कहता है चॉइस एंड कंट्रोल उनके हाथ में होने से इसके बेनिफिट्स, वो पार्टिसिपेट मोर करेंगे टुवर्ड्स द पार्टिसिपेशन, टुवर्ड्स एंगेजमेंट, एंड autonomous learning environments. Young students, I'm not saying it is applicable to every student in higher education. I'm saying to those students who want autonomy, उनको हम सफोकेट ना करें, उनको हम फोर्स ना करें, उनको हम फ्रीडम दें, उनको हम फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दें। ऑटोनोमस लर्निंग एनवायरमेंट्स लीड टू हायर एंगेजमेंट एंड उनको सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलेगा। अब देखिए रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स को अब जब फ्रीडम देंगे तो वो बहुत अच्छे करके दिखाएंगे, या फिर हम ये कहें कि सिर्फ इतना ही करना, यही करना, इसी तरीके से करना, वो करेंगे, हमें आउट ऑफ रेस्पेक्ट टू अस दे विल डू इट, बट they will not have satisfaction. If you ask them in the end, sir, I wanted to do in a different way, sir, I wanted to take up a different topic, so topic उनको लेने दीजिए, चॉइस उनको करने दीजिए, कंट्रोल उनके हाथ में होने दीजिए। हम सुपरवाइजर है ना, हम मदद करें, हम हेल्प करें, हम वो खोजेंगे अपनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज। ये ऑटोनॉमी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। हैरिसन फोर्ड इसलिए टू मी सक्सेस इज अ चॉइस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटी कहा। ये एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बनने वाले हैं, ये लीडर्स, एकेडमिक लीडर्स बनने वाले हैं हमारे हायर एजुकेशन स्पेस में। इसलिए एक्टिविटीज यहाँ देखिए, देयर इज लॉट ऑफ ओपन एजुकेशन रिसोर्सेज। आप कुछ भी चीज टाइप करिए आज की डेट में, व्हाट एवर सब्जेक्ट यू आर टीचिंग। ज्ञानेंद्र सिंह जी, आप पर्सनलिटी टीच कर रहे हैं तो हमें उतनी मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ेगी जितना हम करते थे 15 साल पहले। अभी पर्सनालिटी पे जस्ट गूगल पे सर्च करिए, वीडियो मिलेंगे आपको, ऑडियो फाइल्स मिलेंगे आपको, आपको मटेरियल मिलेगा, कोर्स स्टडी इग्नो से, यहाँ से वहां से बेस्ट ऑफ द रिसर्च मटेरियल मिलेगा, रिसर्च पेपर्स भी मिलेंगे। तो पहले उनको पढ़ने के लिए वो बोलिए ना, आप पढ़ के आओ ना, देखते हैं, हम डिस्कस करते हैं। ओपन टीचिंग कहते हैं हम इसको। मूक्स, अरे ऑलरेडी देयर इज अ कोर्स ऑन एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी, मूक्स करते रहो ना थोड़ा बहुत। एंड एक वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग स्ट्रेटजी यहाँ दिखाया गया, हॉट सीट क्वेश्चन। हॉट सीट क्वेश्चनिंग जैसे हम केबीसी में होता है, एक स्टूडेंट को हम किसी दिन हम ऑनलाइन में उसको हमने बोला आप आज सेंटर ऑफ अट्रैक्शन हो, एंड मी एज ए टीचर एंड ऑल योर स्टूडेंट्स, ऑल योर फ्रेंड्स कैन आस्क एनी क्वेश्चन पर्टेनिंग टू दिस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक। जस्ट इमेजिन करिए, चॉइस तो उसने किया ना, चलो हम पे हमें सवाल करो, आपने दिया चॉइस उसको, यहाँ फोर्स नहीं किया आपने उसको, बोला हु वांट्स टू टेक दिस चैलेंज। तो एक दो लड़कों ने बोला नहीं, हम ले लेंगे सर। तो वो बैठे सीट पे, और ये क्वेश्चन पूछने वाला भी बहुत अच्छा तैयारी करके आया, क्वेश्चन सवाल ये ऐसे सवाल पूछ रहा। तो फायदा किसको हो रहा है? सबको हो रहा है, लर्निंग ही तो हो रही है, एंड इस बीच में उनको मजा आ रहा है। सो इट्स अबाउट ऑटोनॉमी। हायर एजुकेशन में ऑटोनॉमी बहुत एसेंशियल होता है। ओके, देन अब देखिए हायर एजुकेशन पे एक वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट होता है रिलेवेंस। इसको थोड़ा सोचिए, क्या हम जो पढ़ा रहे हैं क्या वो रिलेवेंट टू देम है या नहीं है तो वो बहुत अच्छा पकड़ लेते हैं, नहीं तो नहीं पकड़ते। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, ये अभी राइट नाउ द टॉपिक लीजिए, प्रिंसिपल्स एंड एक्टिविटीज ऑफ ऑनलाइन। आप हायर एजुकेशन टीचर्स हैं, आपको ये रिलेवेंट है तो आप इंटरेस्ट दिखाएंगे। आप ऑनलाइन कल को लेने वाले हैं तो आप इसको रिलेवेंट समझेंगे, नहीं तो बोलेंगे अरे चलो हमको ये यूज नहीं। अगर यूज नहीं है तो ठीक है, समय मत बिताओ इस पर, कोई बात नहीं। ऑलराइट ना। तो ये होता क्या है, कोई भी टॉपिक, एक तो नंबर वन मीनिंगफुल होना चाहिए, प्रिंसिपल्स एंड एक्टिविटीज, क्योंकि आप सब लोग हायर एजुकेशन में रहने वाले हैं, आपके लिए मीनिंगफुल है, नंबर वन। नंबर टू, जो कंटेंट में दिया वो एक पर्टिकुलर बुक का नाम दिया मैंने और बोला ये सोर्स वहां से है, तो ये ऑथेंटिक बन गया। मैं ऐसा ही कुछ प्रिंसिपल्स नहीं बना करके लाया हूं अपने से, मैं अपने घर से नहीं लाया हूं ये चीज, ये एक ऑथेंटिक सोर्स है, नंबर टू। नंबर थ्री हुआ, टू ग्रेट एक्सटेंट, जितना पॉसिबल हो सके, आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इट इंटरेस्टिंग टू यू ऑल। मैं अपनी तरीके से मैं प्रयास कर रहा हूं कि ये इंटरेस्टिंग बने। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि देखो भैया ये किताब है, ये 10 स्लाइड्स है, इसको पढ़ लो ना, हो गया मैटर क्लोज। मैं ये नहीं कर रहा, मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूं कि आप सब लोग पार्टिसिपेट करें, आप सबके अपनी ओपिनियन भी दे दे। मैक्सिमम आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इट इन ए मोर इंटरेस्टिंग मैनर। आप अग्री करते हैं कि नहीं करते हैं? आप क्विकली चैट बॉक्स में दीजिए। इट इज मीनिंगफुल, इट इज ऑथेंटिक, इट इज इंटरेस्टिंग। एंड एवरी टॉपिक आप अपना जो भी टॉपिक पढ़ा रहे हैं, आप इसको मीनिंगफुल बना सकते हैं, आप ऑथेंटिक बना सकते हैं, आप इंटरेस्टिंग बना सकते हैं। अगर अगर ये चीज हो रहा है, अगर वो रिलेवेंट है, तो बोथ हैंड से वो रिसीव करेगा। एक थ्योरी है कॉल्ड सिचुएटेड लर्निंग थ्योरी। सिचुएटेड लर्निंग थ्योरी कहता है, रियल वर्ल्ड कंटेक्स्ट से अगर हम कनेक्ट कर पाते हैं, यूजफुलनेस हम कनेक्ट कर पाते हैं, कुछ भी पढ़ा रहे हैं वो सीखेंगे, समझेंगे, रिटेन करेंगे। अगर यूज ही नहीं है, कई बार स्टूडेंट्स को लगता है कि हम कैलकुलस की, मैथमेटिक्स की इतने बड़े डिफिकल्ट तो क्यों है, उसको समझ में नहीं आता है, तो वो उसमें उसको उचित नहीं समझेगा कि उसने अपना इमोशनल एनर्जी स्पेंड करे। उसको लगेगा कि नहीं इसका बहुत यूटिलिटी है, तो उसमें स्पेंड करेगा अपना टाइम एंड एनर्जी। सो इट्स अ सिचुएटेड लर्निंग थ्योरी। वो कहता है रियल वर्ल्ड के साथ, अगर कंटेक्स्ट के साथ अगर हम कनेक्ट करें अपने टॉपिक को, कि फॉर एग्जांपल एजुकेशन में ज्ञानेंद्र सिंह जी का मैं एग्जांपल ले लो, पर्सनालिटी थ्योरी जब हम पढ़ा रहे होते हैं, कल को ये स्टूडेंट्स टीचर बनेंगे तो कई स्टूडेंट्स के साथ डील करना पड़ेगा। स्टूडेंट्स की अलग अलग पर्सनालिटी होती है, अगर तुम पर्सनालिटी को ठीक से अभी स्टडी करोगे, समझोगे, तो यू कैन डील विद द स्टूडेंट्स वेरी वेल इन योर क्लासरूम्स। ये बहुत एसेंशियल है। क्यों मैं पर्सनालिटी पढ़ूं? अरे तुम्हें बहुत जरूरी है भैया, तो उसको रिलेवेंट लगा, उसको मीनिंगफुल लगा, उसको ऑथेंटिक लगा, उसको इंटरेस्टिंग लगा, ये होना चाहिए। तो इसके लिए वट एवर सब्जेक्ट्स यू आर टीचिंग, जॉब कनेक्शन एंड स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लानिंग पेपर्स, अगर ये हम कराते हैं एक एज एन एक्टिविटी, उनको बताइए जॉब कनेक्शन के साथ एक करो, ठीक है। ये प्रिंसिपल नंबर 6 हुआ, इसको हम रिलेवेंस कहते हैं। आई एम मूविंग क्विकली टू प्रिंसिपल नंबर, कुछ डिस्कस भी करना है इसलिए थोड़ा मैं हरी जा रहा हूं, इंटरैक्ट। अब आप लोग देख ही रहे हैं कि आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इट मोर इंटरैक्टिव। टीचिंग हैज टू बी कोलैबोरेटिव, टीचिंग हैज टू बी टीम बेस्ड, टीचिंग हैज टू बी कम्युनिटी बेस्ड। इवन वन स्टूडेंट शुड नॉट बी मिस्ड फ्रॉम द क्लासरूम। उसको कम्युनिटी कहते हैं। कम्युनिटी का मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम पावरफुल है, स्ट्रॉन्ग है। कम्युनिटी का मतलब है एवरी वन इज पार्टिसिपेटिंग, everyone is collaborating, everyone is sharing, everyone is listening, everyone has an opportunity to speak.